When I was 13, my dad took me camping in Yellowstone National Park for the first time. We set up our tent deep in a quiet wooded area, far from the main roads. There were no other campers nearby, and by nightfall the forest felt completely isolated. At first, everything was normal. We cooked dinner over the fire, talked for a while, then crawled into the tent sometime after midnight. I fell asleep fast. But around 2:30 in the morning, I suddenly woke up. I don't know what caused it. There was no sound, no movement. Just that horrible feeling that something was wrong. I looked over at my dad. He was still asleep beside me. Then I noticed the fire outside had gone completely dark. No crackling, no glow, nothing. The entire forest was silent. Even the insects had stopped. I carefully unzipped the tent and stepped outside. The air felt freezing. I looked toward the trees, and that's when I saw it. About 20 feet away, partially hidden in the bushes, was a pale face staring directly at me. It didn't blink. It didn't move. Its skin looked gray, almost sick, and its eyes were completely white. I froze. Then it slowly leaned forward through the branches. That snapped me out of it. I dove back into the tent and shook my dad awake. I told him something was outside. He grabbed the flashlight and stepped out. I expected him to yell or chase it away. Instead, he rushed back inside, zipped the tent shut, and whispered, "Leave everything, now." We ran into the woods with nothing but the clothes we had on. We didn't stop until we reached the road. The next morning, my dad finally told me why he panicked. When he stepped outside, the face was gone, but there were muddy footprints all around the tent, and one set led inside. Three summers ago, my wife and I visited a national park in Utah. We signed up for an early morning guided trail that followed the edge of a massive canyon. There were only 6 people in our group, along with one park ranger leading us. He was friendly at first, joking with everyone as we started the hike, but after about 40 minutes everything changed. The ranger suddenly stopped talking. He turned around, counted all of us twice, then stared toward the rocks below the trail. I asked if everything was okay. He didn't answer. Instead, he quietly said, "Stay together. And whatever you do, don't look down the left side of the trail." That immediately put everyone on edge. We kept walking. No one spoke. I could hear rocks shifting somewhere below us. Heavy movement, like something climbing. My wife squeezed my hand and whispered that she wanted to leave. Then one of the tourists behind us made the mistake. He looked over the left edge. He gasped so loudly the whole group froze. The ranger spun around and shouted, "Keep walking." The man's face had gone pale. He kept stumbling forward without saying a word. I couldn't help myself. I glanced left. Halfway down the canyon wall, something pale and thin was crawling upward on all fours. Its limbs moved wrong. Too fast, too sharp. It stopped the moment it realized I saw it. Then it turned its head straight toward me. The ranger grabbed my shoulder and shoved me forward. We reached the trailhead in complete silence. Once we were back near the parking lot, the ranger finally spoke. He said hikers sometimes reported seeing mountain goats in the canyon. Then he looked directly at me and added, "Mountain goats don't smile." My brother and I got separated from our hiking group in a national park in Washington. It happened near sunset. We stopped to take pictures beside a creek, and when we turned around, everyone else was gone. At first, we weren't worried. The trail was supposed to loop back toward the parking area, so we kept walking. But after 20 minutes, the path narrowed into trees. Then it disappeared completely. The sun dropped fast. Soon it was dark enough that we had to use our phone flashlights. We tried calling out for help. Nothing answered. No voices, no footsteps, just the sound of water somewhere in the distance. Then we saw lights. 3 flashlights moving between the trees. I yelled as loud as I could. The lights stopped. Then one of them flashed twice. My brother said it had to be park rangers. We started running toward them. Every time we got close, the lights moved farther away. Always the same distance. Always just ahead of us. For nearly an hour, we chased those lights deeper into the forest. Then suddenly, they vanished. All 3 at once. My brother whispered that he heard breathing nearby, heavy breathing. Not from an animal, from several people. We turned our lights in every direction. Nothing. Then, from behind us, a calm voice said, "You boys are a long way from the trail." We spun around. A real park ranger stood there alone. He led us back to the road in less than 10 minutes. When we told him about the 3 flashlights, he stopped walking. Then he asked a question I still think about. Did they ever let you catch up? My wife and I were driving through a national park in Arizona when we stopped at a visitor center just before closing. The parking lot was almost empty. Only one other car remained near the entrance. Inside, the gift shop lights were off, and a worker behind the desk said they were shutting down in 10 minutes. My wife wanted to use the restroom before we got back on the road. I waited outside near a row of vending machines. The hallway was quiet. Too quiet. After a minute, I heard a loud bang come from the women's bathroom, then another, then rapid pounding against the inside of the door. My wife stepped back into the hallway immediately. She looked pale. She said every stall was empty, but one of the handicap stalls was locked from the inside, and something was slamming against the stall door. I thought someone might need help. I opened the restroom door and called out. No answer. Just silence. Then 3 slow knocks came from inside the locked stall. Knock, knock, knock. I asked if anyone was in there. Nothing. The worker from the front desk hurried down the hallway when he heard us. I explained what happened. He didn't look surprised. He only asked one question. Did it knock 3 times? My wife grabbed my arm. The worker unlocked the main restroom door and stepped inside alone. We waited outside. A few seconds later, we heard the stall latch click open. Then complete silence. The worker came back out and locked the restroom entrance behind him. I asked if someone was inside. He said no. Then he looked at my wife and quietly said, "You're lucky it answered the stall door instead of yours." We left immediately. As we reached the parking lot, I looked back once. The bathroom light was off, but something inside the dark window moved.